there, welcome to another one of my Own Your Expertise interviews. I'm Emily Crookston, owner and decider of all things at the Pocket PhD. I'm the ghostwriter for Rebels, Renegades, and Mavericks, and I love helping experts with big ideas get those ideas out of their heads and into the hands of their fans. Today, I'm sitting down with Heather McDaniel. Heather is a food activist and fitness and nutrition coach. She is the owner of Apogeo Fitness. Heather, thank you for speaking with me. Would you like to tell us a little bit more about who you work with and what you do?
Absolutely. And Emily, thank you so much for having me here. I really appreciate it. I work with women who really want to feel confident, powerful, and strong in their own bodies, physically and emotionally. And everything is delivered online.
Okay. Oh, good to know. Yeah.
It's customizable if you want to work out at home, tailored to your needs. If you have, knee stiffness or anything like that, we work with that. So it's customizable to every part of your life, whether it's just time constraints or even just, I have, 2 dumbbells. What can I do with them?
Yeah.
Especially now,
Exactly. If you can find dumbbells, right?
Yeah, I was stoked. I got kettlebells a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like gold.
Right. Yeah, seriously. You might want to flip those. No.
Sell them on eBay and double them.
Right, exactly. Oh, very cool. Very cool. So do they meet with you once a week online? Is that typically how it works?
So how it works, yeah, it's a great question. How it works is I use an app that basically their program for the day is up in there. There are videos that I've recorded that basically give instructions on how to do the movement properly. If they have questions, they can ask. So this way there is that convenience piece. And then we check in, we do like an accountability check-in once a week. And those calls typically run 15 to 20 minutes, just a quick, all right, what's working, what's not, what do we need to do? And of course, I love ending my calls with, what are you most proud of?
Very cool. That's awesome. Okay. I like it. I'm getting into this. Very cool. So how would you describe your path to becoming an expert?
Oh, girl. It's a long one.
Yeah.
For me, it's interesting because my background is in all of these different areas. So for example, my passions really started out in politics and playing soccer. Like that's what I did when I was a kid. Even like as a 13-year-old, I was out, knocking on doors. Hey, go vote. I developed a career in sales and marketing where I was in various roles for, I would say, about 20 years. At about 2016, I had my own fitness journey. I dropped about 25 pounds, got into the best shape of my life. And I was probably, I think I was like 40, 42 at the time. I was still playing soccer. I'm still playing, even now. But that really is what propelled me to start Apogeo Fitness. Since then, I've worked with clients all over the US to help them lose weight in a way that is sustainable without the, I'm going to promise that you're going to, get 6-pack abs in 2 weeks.
So what motivated you to lose those 25 pounds? What made you, that's a big switch.
I was miserable.
Okay.
I was like your typical entrepreneur who was totally stressed, burnt out, overweight. And for me personally, I always saw myself as an athlete. That's how I knew myself. And I was so far from that. And like the emotional pain that came from that, it's like, all right, my pants don't fit. And it's like, all right, I'm not happy about this. So and it took me a while, to find that thing that really worked. It's like, all right, I tried CrossFit, I tried vegan, gluten-free, all of these different things, and none of them really worked. And it's frustrating. And that's something that I bring to my work. It's like, I know the frustration, I know the pain of it. It might take a little bit of trial and error to find the thing that works for you, but once you get in that groove, all systems go.
Yeah. That's so important. I think a lot of people go through that with weight gain and weight loss, and people talk about the diet roller coaster and that kind of thing, and it's tough to figure out what's going to work for you, and it's tough to figure out not only what works for your body but also what you can stick with, right? Because it's got to be something that's sustainable, or you might be really good for a month and you might lose a lot of weight and you might feel really great, and then you fall off the bandwagon somehow, and it's
yeah, and it's interesting. That's kind of how I approach my work with clients. It's very much okay, what's like the one change that you can make today that you can stick with? Okay, great, we implemented that one change. What's the next one and the next one, and building on top of each other, as opposed to trying to change everything at once. For it's almost like a sprint versus a marathon.
Yes.
Right? So like in the sprint, you're changing everything at once. You're trying to, incorporate all these changes, and, you fall off the wagon. I blew it. Screw it now. Right.
Like, why even bother? Why try? I can't do this.
Yeah. But, for me, it's much more about the sustainable long-term approach.
Yeah, I liked this bit that you wrote in here on this question. So you say, I'm a bit of an anomaly because I can definitely weave between the worlds of health, fitness, marketing, faith, and politics. And I don't treat those topics as silos. And I really like that. I would love it if you could talk a bit more about what you mean by that. How do you see these things?
Obviously this year above all years has been the most challenging. Sure. And things really shifted for me during the early stages of COVID-19, as it did for many in the fitness industry. They exposed a lot of flaws in our various systems. Whether it's an unequal financial system, an economic system that isn't working, the broken political system, the healthcare system, the justice system, and there are all these systems, and I'm looking at it's like, why do we want to return to normal when normal is not working for us? And for me, there was a question of, okay, where do I fit in, especially during, political uprising and people really finding their voice. And I had to ask myself, okay, what's my voice? Where is my place in all of this? And do it in a way that's not snarky. That's my challenge, because it's so easy to be snarky and judgmental and dismissive, but that doesn't contribute anything to the conversation.
Yes.
Right. And so I really had to look at what's in my wheelhouse. And I looked at all of these different experiences that I've had in my career and in my life. And it's like, all right, I have politics, I have marketing experience, I have sales experience, obviously fitness, coaching, all of these different experiences. How can I make them whole and make that my contribution to the conversation? This is kind of how I got to that point. And really found like, okay, these different areas all really work together. And that's how we make our choices. That's how we're influenced. That's how we kind of got to where we are.
So what would you say has helped you the most in learning to own your expertise?
Finding my voice. Absolutely. I've been in the fitness industry for close to 5 years. And, I talk about, my value system now, but it took me so long to get there.
Yes.
And I think when I first started out, I didn't own my confidence. I didn't own my voice. I was kind of finding my way in terms of, okay, not necessarily what's going to sell, but, almost like looking at others as an example. It's like, oh, well, it's working for them. Yeah. Maybe I can, make it my own in a sense and make it work for me. But it still wasn't my voice. And it didn't come from my heart. That to me that's huge. Like it really has to come from here in order for it to be yours.
Thanks so much for sitting down with me, Heather. It's been really fun. Can you tell us a little bit more about how to find you online, where we can?
Absolutely. ApogeoFitness.com. It's APOGEO Fitness.com. You could also find me on Instagram, Heather McDaniel, and Apogeo Fitness. Awesome.
Thank you so much, Heather.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. This has been great.